it's Mrs. Ali with the Eastern Iowa Arts Academy, and I have a new art project for you. Today we're gonna draw Wally. Sorry, my example is big, so I'll just move it around so you can see it. If you don't want to draw Wally exactly, you can also just make this some kind of robot. It doesn't have to try to be Wally. Okay, so we're gonna start with the eyes of our robot, or Wally if you want it to be Wally. So to do that, we're gonna start towards the top of our paper, and we want to leave a big space at the bottom for the body. So you just want a little space up here. We won't have as much extra space as my giant paper I had over there. So we're gonna start with a big kind of like teardrop shape almost, or like a pear. So I want to make sure mine are fairly even. So I only want a couple inches in between. So I'm gonna make a dot here and here. That's gonna be kind of the top of my eye shapes. Okay, so to make this shape, we're gonna go curve down like that. And then I'm gonna go ahead and do my other side at the same time to try and get them more symmetrical. All right, then on this side, we're gonna make a diagonal line that goes down. Same thing over here. I'm just gonna round that corner, then go down. All right, so then we're gonna connect with a curved line down here. So kind of start straight and then curve around. So I'm gonna go on a diagonal-ish straight line, and then add a curve going around. Okay, so mine are close to the same size. One's a little bit bigger than the other, but that's okay. We're just gonna go with it. So next we're gonna add another line that's parallel to the first one we drew. So it'll kind of look like bent glasses, like sunglasses or normal glasses. So I'm gonna add a line go. All right, so we're gonna start adding some connector pieces between our starting eye shapes. So we're gonna add a curved line here. Then we're gonna do two more. 1, 2. So I've had 3 curved lines now in between them. When I get towards the bottom, so towards the bottom corners of eye shapes, this time we're gonna do a straight line going across. Then we're gonna add 2 little lines coming out the bottom, and then a straight line going across. Then we're gonna add some longer lines this time. It's more of a square. Now we're gonna make the bottom of the square have some little lines hanging out the edge. Then we're gonna draw 2 lines that are a little bit diagonal going down. Straight line going across. Gonna make that line a little bit longer. So I have 2 little lines hanging out the edges. And then straight lines going down. and a straight line going across. And I'm gonna go back and add a couple of details into this little part. So I'm gonna add a straight line here, and then a straight line here, and add a vertical line in the middle of just that little top section. Now I'm gonna add the body. So we're gonna make a big straight line, and we want it to be about even with the eyes. Straight line going down. We want to leave a little space down here at the bottom for some tires. Straight line going across, and straight line going down. So I have this big kind of square or rectangle shape. Then we're going to add the tires at the bottom. So to do this, we're just going to do a slightly curved like parenthesis line there. And then I'm gonna make sure I leave a space in between. So parenthesis line here. Same thing for the right tire, parenthesis line. So it's just a slightly curved line. So I have two tires. I'm gonna add a straight line in the middle of both of those. All right, so to make the tire treads, I'm gonna make diagonal going up and down, like that. So kind of like a chevron, but it's just one point. Then I'm gonna do the same thing on this side. So I'm gonna start here, go up, back down, start at this same point, go up, back down. All right, so next we're gonna do the arms. So we're gonna have an arm on the left that's gonna kind of go in front of his body. So we're gonna do a diagonal line that goes down about halfway down your square. Then a parallel line next to it. Then we're gonna add a like circle or oval shape. Next we're gonna add the forearm that's gonna cut across his body. So we're gonna add a line starting at the bottom of the elbow that goes across his body. So I went diagonal up. And then right here at this point is where we're gonna make the other line for his arm. I'm gonna erase right here because the arm is in front of his body, so you don't see that little part of the body line anymore. Next I'm gonna add a line, a diagonal line like that. So this top line needs to be a little bit longer. So that's gonna be the top of his hand. All right, so then I'm gonna add, he's gonna have two fingers. So I'm gonna add these middle lines first. So only a tiny space between them. And then parallel lines on each side. Then we're gonna make it so his hand is bent. So now we're gonna do lines going down, down, 2, 3, 4 lines going down, and then connect to them. These two are gonna connect to make one kind of part of his claw hand, and then another one over here. Now we're gonna do an arm on the right. So I don't have room to make mine kind of waving like I was going to, so instead I'm gonna make it go down and over across his body again. So I'm gonna do a line going down to the right, and I'm gonna make a circle at the end. Then I'm just gonna have it come down over here. So we're just gonna go across. so now we're gonna go back and add some details into his eyes and body. So in his eyes, we're gonna add some pupils now. So white and black parts, we're gonna add an eyeball. So to do this is kind of tricky. We're gonna add a, as perfect as you can, circle that's on towards the inside of his kind of eye shape we did. So now we're gonna add another one inside. So a smaller circle inside our first circle. And then we're gonna add a little reflection. I'm gonna do kind of like a blobby rectangle this time. It could also be a circle. And we're gonna leave this white, a little circle or rectangle. We're gonna color this black. Okay, so next we're gonna add some details to the square body part down here. So we're gonna add a straight line going across. Let's say probably right about there. Mine had to go behind that hand. Yours might have to too, depending on where you put it. Then we're gonna add his kind of little like flap that opens. So about halfway between that point and that point, we're gonna make a diagonal line. Mine's gonna have to go behind that arm. That comes up like this, and then do the same thing on this side. So on mine, my arm is kind of in the way right there, so you can't see, but it would start right there, and then it would come out like that. And then I'm gonna connect them across. So again, my hand is in front though, so I'm gonna go behind my hand, come back out the other side, and then continue that line going across. And I'm gonna add a little control panel here. So I'm just gonna do a rectangle. Again, my hand's in the way, I'm just gonna pretend it's behind my hand. And then I can add some buttons. I'm just gonna do a little square button down here. And then I'm gonna make a little rectangle here. And then I'm gonna add another rectangle inside the rectangle. And then I'm gonna make a little grid with 2 lines and then one going across. So there's 6 buttons. I'm gonna add a little line here. So it's kind of like a slot where you could put stuff in. And then I'm gonna put a circle button here. And then another panel of buttons. This is just gonna be a little square that has 4 buttons. So you can change if you want him to have more or less buttons. That's up to you. One more thing I just realized I forgot to add is he has some connector cords that connect his like eye to his little neck piece. So we're gonna add a diagonal line that goes here and there, and then one more here and there. All right, so we are done drawing our WALL-E robot, or it can just be another kind of robot, whatever kind of robot you want it to be. It's up to you what you want to do with your background. I'll show you mine. I did kind of an outer space background. Up to you what you want to do with your background though. You can decide where he's at. Maybe he's on Earth or on another planet, or he can be in outer space. If you want to do realistic colors. He's basically browns and tans with some black tires. Or you can do a colorful robot and it doesn't have to look like Wally. I would suggest tracing all your pencil lines with black marker, or if you don't have a black marker, use colored pencil or crayon. That way those lines will show up a lot better when you color it in. So I hope you had fun drawing your Wally or just your robot. Have fun coloring. Bye!